Greetings, this is Alec Dukas. We've gotten the bombshell announcement that Ian Productions has sold the creative rights to Amazon of the James Bond series. This is a really big deal for a lot of fans. So, one of the things that has happened is that Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson of Ian Productions still have joint ownership of the James Bond series. They didn't completely give it up. It is only going toward the creative rights to Jeff Bezos, Amazon, who picked up the ownership of the studio MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. This is quite shocking to most fans because we don't really know what this means for the series. We know that Cubby Broccoli, for years, his family has run the series, from Dr. No to No Time to Die. One of the things that makes this so unusual is that the James Bond series was an independent series for at least 60 years. It was first started by Albert R. Cubby Broccoli and Harry Saltzman, with some offshoot productions by Kevin McClory, Charles K. Feldman. Kevin McClory was in co-ownership of the rights to Longitude 78 West, the script that became the Thunderball novel. The Thunderball novel was then produced into Never Say Never Again, and Charles K. Feldman, who had the idea of getting the rights to the book Casino Royale eventually, told Cubby Broccoli he should have the rights to all the books, which at that time were being negotiated by Harry Saltzman, and Harry Saltzman acquired the books jointly with Cubby Broccoli. The Broccoli family no longer has the creative rights. They still have joint ownership with Amazon of the James Bond universe, but as of now, they do not have the creative rights that were once owned by Cubby Broccoli all the way through Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. So most of the fears right now involve, will this mean that the James Bond universe will be divided into a multiverse involving a Felix Leiter show, which has been a rumor, and there's been also a Miss Moneypenny show as a rumor as well. I don't think that's going to happen as of yet because they have to prove with one film that they are able to make a good film without the supervision of Barbara Broccoli and family by the time they go into production in 2026. That's as of now the news we have heard. So I think we should all sit back because we're not quite sure what this means yet. We still don't have a new James Bond actor, and for the most part it sounds like they're going to get a relative unknown because most of the actors they have talked about in the press have mostly been established by an earlier character. Henry Cavill has already become Superman since his GoldenEye audition, and Aaron Taylor Johnson has become Kick-Ass since the talks have begun of whether he would be a viable Bond, and I think some other actors like Idris Elba have kind of aged out of the running. We'll see what happens. There's plenty of actors from the British Isles and Ireland and Australia, Canada, the Commonwealth of the United Kingdom will probably come up with some good options. But I think what most people are worried about are the ideas of what will happen to the series in the coming years. So Jamesbond-ology will stay tuned and give you more updates as soon as we hear more, but at this point most of this is kind of rather vague because we don't really know what it means for the creative decisions that will come in the next coming months to a year. One of the things that's also happening is that most of the people that were involved in the previous ventures of 007 have now quit or moved on to retirement. Michael G. Wilson has retired. He is 83 years old. He does not want to pursue any more film productions unless it's something easy, like Barbara Broccoli, who wants to move on to other non-Bond productions, as she is now 64 years old. It doesn't appear that the children of Michael G. Wilson, Greg Wilson, or Barbara's daughter Angelica are all that interested in picking up where the second generation has left off. What is going to happen to the series? Well, we know that creatively the casting has also changed. Debbie McWilliams, who has cast every single Daniel Craig Bond film, is now moved on. She is also retiring. We also know that we do not have a James Bond actor yet. It's mostly been relegated to rumors, that it will be an unknown, someone that is not established. They tend to want an actor that is an unknown or mostly seen as someone in the television world and may not be well known in the cinematic movie world. So, for a brief history, the James Bond series has mostly been known as an independent series. James Bond will be made directly by a studio, Amazon/MGM. The next question that will arise will be, will they still use material from Ian Fleming's books, or will they try to go and adapt some of the non-Fleming books by John Gardner, for example? There have also been books like Colonel Sun that have been made by Kingsley Amis, who was a friend of Ian Fleming. They already adapted some of the material of that for Die Another Day, so they might go into that realm as well. The next question will also be whether the new James Bond filmmakers will still have any connection to previous directors. They often use Martin Campbell as a reboot director, since he softly rebooted the series with GoldenEye and Casino Royale. My best bet it will probably be 2026 before we really get any idea of where they're going with this. The history of the series has often had big bumps in the road like this. From 1989 to 1985, there were no Bond films because there was a lawsuit against a French TV production company that were trying to pocket money from the TV distributions of Bond, and Eon had to file suit to stop this. There was also a lot of talk about whether Kevin McClory, who produced Thunderball and Never Say Never Again, whether he had the rights to the entire Blofeld legacy. That was something that was also figured out as well in the courts. So stay tuned, we'll probably have a little more updates by later 2025 as to which direction Amazon will go with this. So hopefully the fans out there are not too worried if they do not get caught up in Daily Mail rumors. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this little brief update. And cheers.